Okay, so here's our practice model. And again, it's not a very strict model. What we say is we'd like to see you incorporate each one of these things into a practice, right? A skill, so that the kids know what they're learning and they know they're getting better at something consistently. A drill, so something specific that builds the skill in the activity. And it's just about building the skill, so focusing on the skill, okay? Not focusing on the other kids. Then a game, okay, where they get to have some peer-to-peer interaction, some fun, and learn the skill at the same time. And then some scrimmage, right? Now, obviously, that was a 6th, 7th, 8th grade practice. I wouldn't do star drill with little kids, right? Maybe towards the end of the season with one ball where I walked them and they passed and followed. I'd start doing that with them, but not like we did it with 2 balls, right? Shell drill. Again, something I might do with 5th and 4th graders, but very structured, very simple. We do a lot of them just passing, right? Just passing and movement, right? So these are the things that we talk about. You know, having more, I would have obviously scrimmaged at the end of that. So I would have broke out at the end of that with older kids and said, all right, let's play, right? Every practice, right? With younger kids, some people here said they are coaching 3rd through 3rd and 5th graders. The training for the 3rd and 5th graders, what I show is there's a 2-on-1, 3-on-2 drill that I show, right? That breaks the game down into small pieces for little kids, right? So that they don't have to play 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 right away, right? But yes?
Question about time management as far as each one of these different. Sometimes I find myself going, I look up and I got 5 minutes left and I have a scrimmage left. Do you have a specific amount of time that you kind of break the practice out?
Yeah, I mean, that goes back, I think, to the lesson plan, and then, it's Mike? Mark, you need a timer? I used to teach, and when I taught, I always went over the time on my lessons, and then the principal said, Clark, get yourself a timer, right? So maybe you just need a timer, right? And then to know that the 10 minutes is up and we need to stop. Because that happens to everybody, right? They're going and it's good, and you want to let them go because they're getting something out of it, but you're going to miss out stuff at the end of your practice, right? So you got to cut it off, right? Okay. All right, everybody's going to, this is a drill game outline. We're gonna pass them around. And what this one is I'd like you to pick a skill, a drill, and then for some of you experienced coaches, a game, okay, that you can use to get better at the drill. Even for people who are going to be coaching 8th grade, I'd like to see you guys come up with some games today. As you guys are working on this sheet, I'm going to come around with a full practice outline that you guys are welcome to use or pass on to your assistants or whatever you want to do. And I'm going to give you some grouping strategies and attention getters that you can use and your staff can use, your assistants if you have them. Okay? Why don't you guys start grouping up again in something that's comfortable, and I'm going to start handing these out. Just take one at classes. Enjoyable. And I hope everybody gets something out of it. I always get something out of it when I do that with coaches. About the fun. Okay, so here's what we're discovering. Research is showing us that between elementary school and 6th grade year, we lose 75% of our children who are playing sports. So PE becomes their only way. By 8th grade, we are down to somewhere between 5 and 10%.
What's the reason?
I'm getting to it. By 12th grade, we're down to about 2%. And I don't think I have to tell you how many people play sports in college. Right? Less than 1% of our elementary school kids play sports. So we are losing over 99% of our youth by the time they get to be adult age. I recently did a focus group with some high school kids and some college kids who were playing sports and all had successful careers. And what was, the guys who had the best experience, what was the number one thing that they said? It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. What did the good coach do? Make the game fun, right? Doesn't mean he wasn't a firm coach. Doesn't mean he wasn't disciplinarian. Doesn't mean, it means they enjoyed it. Plain and simple, right? It was an enjoyable experience. Again, when we poll those middle school kids, when we get a group of them together and ask them at 6th grade level, why'd you stop playing? What's the feedback we get? It stopped being fun. I couldn't make a team. It was too competitive, right? I wasn't good enough to play sports anymore, right? These are all the things we hear from kids that drop out. Okay. So, again, as much as we can do to keep the game engaging and fun. Now, I know CYO does a really good job of making sure that kids are leveled in their proper places as far as experience, so they do as good of a job as they can. But again, you know, some of you are going to be working with children who, you know, they spend their whole year working on this game. And some of you are going to be working with children who, you know, saw the CYO flyer, mom saw the CYO flyer, and said, oh, let's give this a try. Right? We want to keep that kid too. Right? Right. And so the way to keep that kid is to make sure, I hope you want to keep that kid too. I'll just leave it there. No, but the way obviously to keep that kid is to make sure that kid is having fun too. Okay, we'll start with this group. You guys have 2 things.
Character and discipline.
Good. Character and discipline. Very good. Excellent.
Teamwork and responsibility.
Good. Next group there.
We have handling adversity, however you would say that, how to have a goal and reach it. Goals, yes.
Adversity, reaching goals. Good. Next group.
Work ethic.
Excellent. Thank you. Next group. You guys have 2?
Off the street. Keep kids off the street.
Okay, keeps them busy. Keeps off street. I'm going to put positive behaviors. Okay? Okay, doing something positive, not negative. Anything else there?
Exercise.
Great. So back to fitness, exercise. Right, it's healthy.
Positive mindset.
Good. Positive mindset. And another one?
Is confidence out there? Self-confidence?
No. Good. Confidence. Self-esteem. And my last group.
Well, I kind of want to take it, but somebody said friendship.
Good. Friendship. Social skills. Okay, so you guys left off my biggie.
Fun.
Thank you.
We know that was already in there.
Okay, we're going to talk a lot about this tonight. Okay, most of you are, raise your hand if you're doing 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Okay, good. I thought that was the case. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit in a second why fun is so important even for your age group. Okay? Our intervention quadrants. Now, I gave you a blue sheet. The blue sheet has a bunch of things that you can do in the moment when a kid actually, like stop and breathe or redirect. Okay, so that blue sheet has a bunch of things on it, front and back, that you might want to try if a kid makes you angry or does something you don't like. Okay? Up here are our quadrants. Okay, before we look at that, I'm going to tell you guys a very brief story. Okay, I started out as a teacher. So about my 2nd year, I was working at a place called County Cullen Literacy Academy with what's called the Eagle Class, 4th grade kids. The Eagle Class meant they had tested very high the previous 2 years and been grouped as a high testing class. First couple of weeks, things are going very well, right? I'm teaching my math, my science, my social studies, my English. Everybody's in sync, in unison, we're moving. Okay, I get a knock at the door. It's the principal, and she has a young man with her by the name of Maurice Farmer. Okay? Everybody in the school knows Maurice. Right? My class can't stand Maurice. None of the other kids in 4th grade can stand Maurice. We have 4 4th grade classes. Maurice has been to all other 3. We are 3 weeks into the school year. Okay? Ms. Powell comes to me and says, you're going to take Maurice. So, are you sure about this? These kids can't stand Maurice. Right? This is your highest testing group. Are you really going to put that child in here? She goes, it's either that or he goes to another school, and you know I can't do that until he's in each class. So in New York, when kids are really bad, principals call up the other principal down the block and say, you know what, you got a bad kid? I'm going to send you my bad kid, you send me your bad kid. Right? That's what we do in New York. Okay, in New York, I don't know what you guys do out here, but that's what we do in New York. But the glitch is, let's say if you have 3 3rd grade classrooms and the kids are 3rd grade, you got to try each classroom. Right? You can't just send them out. So she had to put them in my room for some period of time before she made the call. Right? That was the catch. So, Maurice comes into my room. And I don't have to tell you guys what happened. He tore the room up. Right? I'm punishing him. I'm taking things away. He likes to play chess. The only lesson I can get through is science. Because he likes science. Okay? Everything else, he's arguing with kids. He's throwing things. And I'm taking things away. And I'm sending letters home. I'm doing all these things, and nothing's working. Okay, parent-teacher conference is coming up. Maurice's mom is coming in. I obviously am not looking forward to this meeting. I have nothing nice, really, to say to this woman, other than in about a week, you're going to be meeting with a group of new people at a new school, right? Because he spent his time with me, and I'm about to go tell Ms. Powell, come get him, because I want my class back, which is going to take me 2 months to get my class back now, right? But I want my class back, right? His mom comes in and we begin talking, and after a while I turn to her and say, Mrs. Farmer, you have any suggestions? You have any ideas? She goes, well, you know what, to be honest with you, ever since Maurice was about midway through 1st grade, he's always had to sit by himself. So you guys remember when we were growing up, you had to sit in the rows, and if you turned around, you got in trouble because the teacher knew you weren't supposed to be facing that way, right? We don't do that anymore, right? Just like you guys were grouped up tonight because we thought it would make you learn better. Okay, we think that way about kids, right? So if they walk in your classroom, kids have to kind of be in these groups or you get in big trouble. But Maurice had been moved out of these groups for at least 3 years. He had been in the back of the room by himself, just like Ms. Powell told me to do. Put Maurice in the back, give him his work, teach a class, right? So Ms. Farmer says, can you move him back into a group? I said, Ms. Farmer, I've been asked not to do that, right, by my boss. Right? She goes, just to see, can you give it a try? You asked me, can you give it a try? I said, okay. We put paper up sometimes, and we go do our thing, so I'm going to put the paper up, and we're going to put Maurice in a group. Took a couple of groups, all right? Took a couple of weeks. But Maurice obviously came around. Last night, before I tell you what happened with Maurice by the end of the year, last night, or Sunday, someone asked me, what did you do? Right? And I thought it was so profound because most people walk away from this story saying, well, you put Maurice back in the group. Right? That's what you did. No. What I really did was did a lot of community building and talking and honest work with the group. Sometimes when Maurice wasn't even around, right? We had to talk about the fact that we were going to let this child who was a problem in the entire school into our space, into our community, right? And that we had to do some things differently to make him comfortable at first. And then hopefully he would come around to us, right? And we did that as a group, as a community. And that's what made it work, right? Not me moving him back to the right seat. It was a lot of community work. Maurice went on to, in 4th grade, all around the country now, you got to take science tests. Big deal. Okay. In New York, you got to weigh all these things and measure all this stuff. And Maurice ended up being one of the highest scoring 4th graders in science tests that year. Right? I didn't do anything but teach regular science. This kid loved the science, and so he took it in, right? So here we are, okay? Intervention quadrants. Okay, you'll see an axis for accountability and an axis for support, low to high, okay? Punishment, right? This is where I started out with Maurice, taking away recess, taking away chess, taking away reading time, right? Anything I could do, sending home letters, right, to punish him. High accountability, I want Maurice to behave for me. Low support. All I did was punish, right? Neglectful, okay? I ignored him quite a bit, right? If it was, you know, here's your work, kid. I'm going up here to teach the class, right? Because that's what I was told to do the first few weeks, right? Give him his work, let him get it from wherever he is in the room, right? Neglect. Low support, low accountability. You're not there, right, for this child, okay? Permissive, okay? We do bad drills sometimes, and I have one kid at the drill who can do no wrong, right? I just keep saying, oh, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great, to the exclusion of the other kids, all right? Do you have a star player like that? Okay, or did you go to high school with a star player like that? Okay, where there was a lot of support, but nobody was making them be accountable for anything? Okay. And then there's reasoning. Okay, and this is where we want to get with everybody, and this is where I got to with Maurice. All right? Okay? Collaborating, taking responsibility, being accountable. I collaborated with his mom. I collaborated with my class. Right? I took responsibility for the fact that I was only punishing and neglecting this child and not giving him a way to be a part of the community. And I was accountable to him because I was responsible for him. Okay? Any questions? Great. I want to thank you guys for listening to me for so long. This has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. Feel free to email me or call me anytime. Send me your schedules. I come out. I'm dying to see some CYO girls basketball. I love girls basketball. And again, this has been wonderful. Thank you. Good luck with your seasons. Have wonderful seasons. I know the kids are going to love you. Thank you. Okay, this is what we call bad drill. Okay? I'm going to show you what a bad coach looks like to the best of my abilities. Okay? Okay, so you turn around again and I turn back around. I'm not going to be a nice person. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go. Come on, you guys, moving too slow. Bring it in. Bring it in. Let's go. Do a walk. You know what? Give me a lap. Everybody's walking. Give me a lap. Give me a lap. Let's move. Everybody's walking again. Let's go. Let's go. Good job, Joe. Bring it back in. Good job. I don't know what I do without Joe. I'm going to come here every day. All right, Saturday. Saturday. Down 5-2. 3 goals. Okay? JP didn't pass to anybody. Ball. All right, Jen, where were you? On the defensive end. Yeah. Right. And Greg, as long as you are, how can anybody get a goal and pass you? Come on, man. Use the body. Jeez, please. All right, we got a lot to work on today. We did a lot of stuff wrong on Saturday. Okay? Let's see. Let's start with let's just start with some simple passes. Just hold on a second. Let's see here. All right, got to circle up real quick, please. All right, I'm going to kick you the ball, and you're going to kick it back to me. Stop it with your foot brake. All right, make sure you use the foot brake, Joe. Let's go. Kick it back. Good job. Not bad, man. Not bad. Oh, shit. It's all AJ. All AJ. Nice. It's almost as good as Joe's. All right, everybody had a chance to go, correct? All right, let's get 2 lines. 1 line behind Charlie, One line behind Joe right here. Alright, we're going to work on some dribbling. Okay, you're going to dribble out to this cone, into this cone, go back around, all the way back to the top. Okay, when you finish, let the next person go. Ready? Go. Go slow, Charlie. Go slow. Pick it up. Pick it up. Come on, let's stay in control of the ball. Let's stay in control of the ball. Slop it. Slop it. Slop it. Come on. JP, get some kind of like zigzag going here, man. That was a straight line, man. Come on, JP. Keep going, keep going. That was terrible. Do it again. Alright, hold it right there, hold it right there, hold it right there. Alright, we're going to scrimmage a little bit. You guys are really, I need to see how you guys are playing in the game, man, because you're not getting the drill stuff at all. It's just like a waste of time, so let's just play. Alright, this is one team down here, pick a goalie. You guys are down here, pick a goalie. Alright, come on, Charlie. Alright, game 2. Make sure you pass the ball, let's go. Good job, Joe. Excellent. You get the ball, Greg, come on. Jim, you gotta get in there, Jim. You gotta get into the middle. I'm in the middle. How to pass is that? That's a Joe. Pass it to Joe. Pass it to Joe. What are you waiting for? Pass it to Joe. Go, Joe. All right, bring it in. You go behind him. As usual. I think you know what the highlight of that part is. Joe's play. Are you practicing? Look, you want to stay on the scene? You want to play? Everybody bring it in. We're going to stop being losers. Being losers! Thank you. are they going to treat her? Right? Okay, so that's a bad drill. Obviously, there's some exaggeration to that. You don't usually see all of those pieces in one coach. What you see is little bits of all that stuff in different people. Right? So, you got the person who might be on the cell phone. Right? The person who always wants to talk about one player. Right? Or the person who wants to be little. Right? Instead of building up. Right? If you're all of those things, then you really shouldn't be around kids. If you are all of those things. If it is, what should you do? Get in there right away. Right? If there's something that's taking place that's going to end up in an ambulance, please get in there right away. All right? Do not let things go on that are unsafe. Good. Number 3.
What is the impact of the behavior?
Good. The reason you need to think about that is because you can't get it back. Right? If you scream at a kid, you can't get that back. Right? And you need to think about what are the impacts of that behavior going to be. You're going to lose something in that relationship if you haven't already built up enough of a relationship to have that rapport. Right? Even if that is your style. I know coaches who are screamers. It's their style. But they make sure that kids know that they love them and care about them before they start going crazy. Right? I don't know if anybody saw the coach that punched and kicked the kid the other day. Anybody see that? Oh my God, you took this. This guy, he takes the ball, his basketball coach. The kid's on the elbow. He takes the ball and like elbows the kid in the mouth. The kid falls to the floor. He goes, he kicks him. And then he throws the ball to the next kid in practice. Like, let's go. Let's just keep going. It's crazy. He quit. He resigned. A day ago. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen some rough coaches. I don't know, Bobby Hurley, and I've seen some really tough guys from that East who do scream and hit kids sometimes. But this was like, no, elbow the kid right in the mouth. Whew. Impact of the behavior. You can't get that one back. So he resigned. Number 4, Julia.
What is the youth looking for?
Good. That was back to the reasoning, right? We talked about Maurice wanted to be in the group, right? Good. Take action. Can you read A there?
Acknowledge the need.
Good. Again, try and find out what the need is, what the kid needs. Greg?
Respond to the need constructive.
Good. Okay, so do something positive, right? Do something positive. Okay. When appropriate, consider how not to respond directly to the behavior. We can ignore. Right? Ignoring works for a kid who's only going to fade out for 10, 15, 30 seconds. Right? If you know you got that kid that just needs a mental break, right, before he comes back, you can let them kind of check out without making a big deal about it. As long as you know they're going to come back. And now what you can do, redirect. Right? Jimmy, can you go get the balls? Right? Can you keep score until it's your turn to get one? Right. Okay. D.
Morning.
Okay, morning. Opposite of ignoring. Let them know something's wrong. If you go out there on the first day and it's not what you want, tell them. That's basically what that means. Right? If they're doing things on that first day that you know have to stop for you to have a good long season, warn them that first day. Say to them, you know, we're just starting out. If we have that, this won't go well. Right? These are things that we need to, and then follow it up with some positive behavior and some positive activity. Right? Get them right into something engaging and positive. Right? Okay, good. Next one. Mediate. Somebody was asking about peer-to-peer stuff. Yes, that is your job, right? To get in between young children who don't always know how to deal with their own issues and help them out. Please do that. Okay, F. Consequence. Okay, you can't just keep warning kids forever. Right? You can't just keep saying, it's gotta stop, you gotta stop, you gotta stop. At some point, there's gotta be a consequence. Right? So you guys, before you get to your sites, again, you may want to talk with site coordinators to see if there's already consequences. I know when I ran my site, if you guys came to my site, all you have to do is coach. Right? If there was a problem behavior, I had a system for dealing with discipline. right? So all you have to do on my site was coach. Find out if that's the case with you, right? Because then that's one less thing you have to worry about, right? And 6, my favorite.
Let go and move on.
Please. There's a problem, don't carry it over to the next practice. You know, don't make some kid become your scapegoat every day. Don't make some child become your star every day. Right? Let it go, move on, make every day a new